Antonio Gramsci said, billion people defend billionaires.
Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos.
Antonio Gramsci says that it's because of something called cultural hegemony.
I have no idea what that means.
Gramsci explained that the owning class use hegemonic ideas to gain domination over the working class. They don't do it through force or through coercion. They accomplish it through getting consent from the masses of ordinary people.
I have no idea what that means.
Well, they subtly convince everyone to think that bad things are normal.
I have no idea what that... Wait a minute. I understood that. Give me an example.
The dominant ideology of our society is shaped by consumer culture, leading many people to see the pursuit of material possessions as a primary source of happiness and success.
Give me another example.
Lots of people believe that working 50 plus hours a week and barely spending time with your family or doing the things you love just to retire at 65 if you're lucky is the only way society can work.
Give me another example.
The idea of pulling oneself up by the bootstraps. The idea that you can succeed economically if you just try hard enough. It's a form of common sense that has flourished under capitalism and that serves to justify the system.
You think you can elaborate on that?
Yeah, in other words, if you believe that all it takes to succeed is hard work and dedication, then it follows that capitalism and the social structure that is organized around it is just invalid.
But if I believe that people like Zuckerberg and Bezos have earned their wealth in a just and fair manner, then that means that people like me who live check to check in turn deserve our impoverished state.
Yeah, this form of common sense fosters a belief that success and social mobility are strictly the responsibility of the individual. And in doing so, it obscures the real class, racial, and gender inequalities that are built into the capitalist system.
But then, how do we fight back against this hegemony?
Well, we're doing it right now by learning and
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Once it's like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. I saw this last night. That shit was funny to me. They made it plain, simple for dummies. You know, they basically you're working for nothing, and what you keep the people that's on top, not only fat and fed, you keeping them safe because you add what you see, what they have as security, and automatically, you know, in this world, there's a thing called respect of persons, and people respect people because in their mind they see, oh, the results of this and that, and not knowing that person that you're giving all this honor to. Matter of fact, that's why the scripture says this. Now, you know, all this honor and this accolades that you're giving them to, and they're the worst pieces of you know what that could be, because people's judgment is clouded. All right, let me get this real quick. James 2:7-6. But ye have despised the poor, do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats? And to the answer to that is yes. People, those that's on top is the ones that send you to that judgment. Now you watch, you know, you read history, and you would always read about somebody that was doing wrong. You know, we live after the previous generations, and we automatically have the answers to those what they did wrong back then. But people compromise themselves because of the simple fact is riches blinded them, blind their judgment. All right. And this is how the game is being played. You're being blinded because the things that they say to make you deem you to succeed or to be successful is the end all to be all, and since they have it, you automatically give them a pass. This is why the scripture says this. Sirach 13 and about 15. No, actually, we go to the point. 13 and 21. A rich man began to fall and is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends. So he has a lot of rich people have a lot of friends because they could buy them off. They're not really their friends, but they could buy them off. Is truly the respect of persons. This is why the Lord, he doesn't give a damn about respect. This is why the Lord created poor individuals, period, especially of his people. It's not about what you have, it's about how you treat other people. And we all know that these other nations, when they have lordship over others, they're the most cruelest people in the world. And that's why Yahweh Shah made a statement about lordship. All right. Matter of fact, I'll get that too. But let me read this. It says, when a rich man is fallen, he have many helpers. He speak of things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuke him too. He spake wisely and could have no place. And that's what the scripture, my favorite, I haven't read it in a while. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that real quick. Ecclesiastes, is it 3? Like I said, I haven't read it in a while. Let me just type it in. Poor man's wisdom. Ecclesiastes 9 and 15. I would never think that. 9 and 14. 13. This wisdom have I seen also under the sun. It is the same great unto me. There was a little city, a few men within it, and there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built it bulwarks against it. Bulwarks. Siege works, bulwarks, walk, hunting implement, net, fastening stronghold. Right. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that the same poor man then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. And this is why the Lord have created, well, this is why the Lord gave his word to the less fortunate, all right? The poor of this world, rich in faith. To do what? To overthrow those that's in a position of power and that rely on the materialistic things that they have. So it's like it's a perfect setup. I'll say that much. It says the words of the wise men are heard in quiet more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. So wisdom is a better weapon. All right. So it doesn't matter where it comes from because it's who's displaying it. Going back to this real quick, it says Sirach 13 and 23. When the rich speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They exalted to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help him. They will help to overthrow him. Riches are good unto him that have no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. So what does it bring? I just seen somebody put it up too. That's kind of great. That's spiritual. Somebody put up a post that money doesn't. When somebody has money, it is not because money is bad. It's because the person, whatever that person had in them, it could be more. So in other words, it exposed them who they are. So you know somebody when they got bread. This is why it's still talking about friends, and the scriptures talk about friends, and the scriptures also talk about riches. Riches. It's second. No, First Timothy 6:9. Matter of fact, let me just get there real quick. I don't want to misquote it. First Timothy 6:9. It says, "But they that will be rich fall into temptation, and the snare into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition." So money, and then it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." So it's not money itself. The exchange is for the love of it, the driving force behind it. So people are caught up in the financial uh, um, rat race. Everybody's in this chase, this paper chase, and this is the illusion of this world. And this is that's the crazy thing, that how that little cartoon broke it down is just the illusion. So people thinking that this is the way out, but the very rich that you are admired, they never got their riches the way you claim to get your riches. They didn't have to work hard. All that shit was given to them. All right, all of it. Matter of fact, Proverbs 23:5, it says, "With that set thine eyes upon that which is not, for the riches certainly make themselves wings; they fly away as an eagle towards heaven." So, and this is the illusion of the world, the way the world has been shown. Okay, it was all part of the illusion, especially here and now. The here and now of today's environment is the same illusion that you have believed for so long, coming to realization that reality is starting to sink in. Especially women. Women now about to lose all their jobs, their education. They're telling their education don't mean shit. This is why they can't get no jobs that really support them. And the reality is about to sink in on everybody. The rich play the game. Matter of fact, hold on. This is another one. Proverbs. Poor man. Or no. Let me type in rich man. I know exactly what I'm looking for. No, rich. No, how it goes in? I'm just gonna put rich and poor. See what happens. It's in Proverbs. Proverbs. Not that one. All right, it should be around here. It's not the one. That's a good one. Proverbs 22:2. The rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. Okay? But the Lord He is the maker of everything. The Lord can make anybody rich. It's nothing to the Lord. It's not about the riches. Okay? It's all about what the spirit is in the person. Why did the Lord make Solomon so rich? Because what did he pray for? He prayed for wisdom and knowledge. He prayed for basically more knowledge of the Most High. And the Lord gave him everything extra. But the leading force of this world is the riches. But there's one that says, Proverbs 22:16. Let me see how it says. He that oppresseth the, no, yeah, this is it. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. And that's how they got you. That's why I've been saying it for a long time. This is exactly how they got people. You keep the illusion going. All right. The people keeps the illusion going. Keep these people in the position of power. This is why that dollar bill. Let me see if I can Google a dollar bill and see what happens. This is why the dollar bill. I gotta check this movie out. Um, dollar bill, dollar. Image. All right, dollar bill. Let's see what it says. It's supposed to say right here. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. All right, this is why it's called a fiat. You give the strength to the dollar. You keep the illusion going. You allow these people to stay in a position of power. This is why they educated the majority of people. Educate them from what? Educated them, or sorry, not, well, education means to draw fin, but you've been indoctrinated to believe this is the power, ultimate power right here. And by doing that, there's another saying in this damn bill, I can't remember. By doing that, yeah, we all know that the God that it's talking about is is Satan. By doing that, you are trapped up in this thing right here, this which is a web. All right, this is a talisman. You give it strength, and they know that. So the more you give back to them, your time, your effort, the more power they have over you. All right, and it was all done purposely. All of it. They created a system to ensure that they was in position of power. It ain't no secret. Okay, they tell the world you got to do this, you gotta have to do that, and they themselves don't do it. This is why script. Well, I'm going to quote that one. The Lord said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will what set you free." Because the materialistic things of this world no longer keeps you grounded or anchor you to this world. And once that appeal is gone, obviously, yeah, they're gonna have power over us regardless because it's this part of their blessing. But this is why, through the Spirit, we had God-given rights and the privileges that was given to us. And right now, the privileges are leaving, which entails gives us back to the Lord that gave us this life. So they fool the majority of people. Actually, Proverbs 22:7. It says, "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender." So they created a debt system, told you a lie, give you a bar to go by. That's why for a long period of time, who was the richest family in the Americas? The Rockefellers. This is why you have clowns like Jay-Z and Dame Dash, Rockefeller record, and this, that, to the third, because that was a recorded history of a people trying to achieve what they have, but you can't achieve that. Okay, that comes with a whole nother that comes with a whole nother thing that we should all be saying Tawadi Habashim Yahusha, because the Lord is fooling these fools. All right, He's fooling them. Real quick, Psalms 73. I'll just go to the point. 73 about right 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily I have cleansed my heart in vain, meaning his mind, and washed my hands in innocence. For all day long have I been plagued and chastised every morning. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I will offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High. Then understood I their end. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places, that casteth them down into destruction. So this whole scheme that's been the Lord has gotten this guy. He's checked him. He's checkpointed. All right. All that is a condemnation when they tell the world how much riches that they have. I seen a couple videos on Instagram, and they also this couple is like it's like a repeat, but I did a show on it too. It says, "Why is the world in debt? Like how the earth could be in debt, which makes no sense. All the materialistic things was given for free." So they had always got to say this. They had to create a system. This is the only way they can have their ultimate goal, which is to chip everybody. Okay, this is the only way. They have to create a system in order to have people decide they got to take this freely. Remember, it's everybody's decision if they want to take it or not. So is it the world you comfortable with? You comfortable with the things you want to keep the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Gettys, and all these people? You're saying that their way is the best way? Is their way, their kingdom is the best kingdom? All right? Or you're going to come to that realization, and the only way that's going to happen is when everything's taken from everybody. Then everybody's going to be crying and hollering and hollering, saying how these individuals did them dirty. All right? Matter of fact, not Proverbs. It's not Amos. Salakia. I think it's Amos. Yep. It says Amos 9:13. It says, "Behold, days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper." Who's the plowman? The worker. All right, the worker. The workman, the man that's going out there busting his, you know what, to maintain the illusion that is this world. He's gonna be upset, and he's gonna try to overtake the reaper. Who's the reaper? Those that's benefiting. People, don't you realize that people are getting laid off right and left? They put their whole souls into something. Yeah, and here it is. You give all credits and credence to those people, those top people, and look how they take everything from you. But you won't never judge them because why? The majority of people of the world respect the persons. They create an illusion so you to defend them. That's some diabolical shit for your ass. They created an illusion for you to defend them. You know, so you're like, yeah, I gotta make that Bill Gates money. Oh, I gotta make this that like what? Like you know how childish and foolish you are. All right, but eventually the people are going to overtake those people that's in position of power. All right, it says and trod trod of trod of the grapes and him that soweth the seed, and the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. So the Lord is going to take these people out of position of power. Man, I could go to Job. Job 20, not 21. 21 is good, actually. Man, listen, if you could get by, you should say, just think the Wadi Habashim Yao Shai. I get by the day. I get my daily bread. What the Lord is about to do to these people that have the people that haves, you don't want no part of it. That's the best. That's the best answer. You know, as long as I got a roof over my head, I got food I can eat. You gotta think minimus, and don't give no credits and credence to any of these whack ass entertainers. You know what I'm saying? These um overnight sensation, and not realizing they was funded by they just propped up to be funded. It was funded by the elites. Their parents got old money, old wealth, and they're gonna have to eventually they're gonna have to vomit all that shit up. All right, that's the portion of the wicked. It says Job 20 and I started at 27. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the heavens, the internet. The internet is breaking down the schemes, breaking down the structure that has been built. All right, exposing who's in control of everything, who's running everything, and why is the Rothschilds name always pop up? And there's other families, but they're the ones, they're the key ones. Why? Because they are that ruling class mentality. They are the ruling class. Esau, the man Esau, that's the ruling, that's the top family of them all. So they're being revealed. This is why. Who said it? Was it Henry Kissinger? One of them, or the Rockefellers. The internet was the worst thing ever because they're being exposed. It says, "And the earth shall rise up against him, and the people of the earth is going to rise up against these people." There's only going to be two classes. All right, they're going to be the have and the have-nots. That's the goal. That's what they're aiming for. It says, "The increase of his house shall depart, and his good shall flow away in the day of his wrath." Whose wrath? The Lord's wrath. So all that money, that backing that they had, is all gonna eventually come back to the real rulers. All right, and the real rulers is the king, is the sons of the Most High. We're not gonna be living in no freaking hut in the kingdom of heaven. We're gonna be living royalty. All right, we're gonna be living heavenly on earth. This is the portion of the wicked from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. To take all those people, the haves, they're gonna have to give back. So with that being said, we'll sign real quick. The spirit shalom to the elect of the nations of shalom.